Hello YouTube, Tanbrolo here. As you can see, I have a new toy. I am a big fan of Slash. I've always wanted a gold top. I was thinking of getting a Gibson gold top, but this is not a Gibson gold top. I turned to the dark side. I've heard so much about these, I had to buy one just to see what it's all about, and I wasn't expecting much. This is a Chibson, so it is a Gibson-esque guitar from China, also known as Chibson, and that, of course, is the gold top on the right. I also have my Epiphone Les Paul on the left, and I thought I would just sort of compare the two side by side. First impressions? It is a very good guitar, relatively speaking, for the price. I paid $290 US for my Chibson. Comes with an ebony fretboard. It also comes with a case. The case is pretty decent material. It's a little on the light side. I don't know how long it's going to hold up, but $290 US all in. That's a pretty awesome deal. So far, I'm very impressed with the playability of this guitar. I got extremely lucky, and I didn't need any truss rod tweaking or any changes to my frets. Everything is actually straight and playable, so maybe I'm just lucky. Just to kind of show you the angles of these, they are extremely similar. The Epiphone is a little more rounded, I think. You can see the gold top. It is rounded, but not as much as the Epiphone is rounded. In terms of weight, the Epiphone is heavier. This Chibson is a little on the lighter side, not a whole lot, maybe half a pound to a pound. Starting from the bottom up, I will tell you about some of the things that I've done to this. The first thing I did was I got some guitar strap locks. These are very handy, just a spring-loaded thing that goes on there. That is not coming off. You can buy those on eBay for $2 from a company called, sorry, just checking my notes here, axeprice, A-X-E-P-R-I-C-E, all one word, axeprice. $2, and that's each, so I got two of them, $4 for those. They work great. There's not a whole lot to them. It's a sturdy spring, and your strap will never fall off, so I like that. $2 can't go wrong. Continuing to move up, the knobs on this are passable. They are cheap plastic knobs. They look pretty much identical to the Epiphone knobs. Slightly different shape to the numbers on them. Not a whole lot to say there. When I got the guitar, the knobs had obviously just been sort of randomly stuck on. They weren't all zero in the same place, so I had to pop them off, straighten them out. Thinking about maybe switching the knobs, but I don't mind them. They're okay. A knob's a knob. The pots underneath are quite smooth. They seem okay. I don't get any kind of pops or fuzz to the volume or tone when I'm making adjustments. Everything is passable there. Going further up, having a look at the tailpiece, it does use flat bolts on these. Some of the knockoffs use a rounded bolt, so this one is actually using flat. Don't have to change it. Looks fine. Everything works there, no vibration. Moving up to the bridge. The bridge was a major area of concern for this guitar. It uses an Epiphone style bridge. So let's go over here and look at the Epiphone bridge. Epiphone bridge has the adjustment screws on the top, and it uses flathead screw holes to make height adjustments to the bridge. So Epiphone bridges, they're nothing to write home about. They do the job. This one in particular was terrible. Had a lot of buzz, a lot of just, I don't know, parts that weren't the exact right fit. The G and D strings in particular had a lot of buzz, so that had to go. I yanked that out. So I removed the anchors from that bridge, had a friend of mine use his drill press and drill them out, and then I tapped a Gibson anchor into the Chinese anchor. Long story short, went on Amazon and I bought a authentic, genuine Gibson bridge. So what you're looking at here is a very nice, very awesome Gibson bridge. Works great, has the small holes that you'd expect to see on a Gibson, has the adjustable height that you can just do by hand. You're able to just turn these, so that's great. I'll also make a comment on the paint at this point. This is a sort of slash style gold top, but the slash gold top uses what they call Boolean gold. This is more of a flake gold. If you look at it up close, you can see that it is gold flake. So when I first looked at it, I said, "Oh, that's not what I expected, gold flake." But I got to say, I like it. It looks great, and I certainly have no complaints about it. I also want to point out, I'm going to tell you how much of an idiot I am, but when I was taking the Epiphone style bridge off, which does use flathead screws, which is a really stupid design, I took my sharp screwdriver and I slipped it off of the head of the screw and I dug it right into the guitar. I'm a fool. But wouldn't you know it, not any sign of a scratch. The paint and the clear coat on this is bulletproof. They do very good work on their paint jobs, or at least this one has a very good paint job. So I was very pleased about that. Not a single mark, scratch, nothing. And that was with the corner of a very sharp screwdriver. So that's great. Moving up, I have the pickups. The pickups were quite passable. I'm not really a big pickup guy. I mostly use digital effects when I want different sounds. I just want a pickup to pick up, do what they're supposed to do. This is the one that came with the guitar. Pretty basic, nothing to really write home about. This is the one for the neck. I already gave the bridge pickup away to a friend who wanted to throw it in one of his guitars. Yeah, not really a whole lot to say. I wanted to put Alnico 2 pickups in because that's what Slash uses. I was looking for a sound similar to that. And what the heck, I like to tinker, so I wanted to put new pickups in. So I did some homework. I didn't spring for Seymour Duncan Alnico 2s, which is what Slash uses, of course. I found another company called Axe Tech, and they have Alnico 2 pickups, which are very, very well respected. The reviews are quite good. From what I understand, they have an output that's pretty much identical to the Seymour Duncans, but they're much cheaper. You can get a set for, I can't remember the price. I think I paid about 120, 130 bucks, shipping included, for both. So they're in there now, and yeah, I don't really know what I can tell you. They fit perfectly, and they sound fine. Everything is good. No problems whatsoever. Moving up, the toggle selector switch. When I got the guitar, it had no washer on it at all. There was nothing here. So I did jump onto Amazon and I bought a Gibson washer. I got a Gibson cream washer. So when it actually showed up, it had a bit of like a tinge of color, which wasn't really beige. It was kind of purplish, and it looked terrible. But because my Epiphone is kind of a rosy colored orange and red, I put it over here. You can see the difference between white and the sort of cream color. Looks fine over here, and I took the Epiphone washer and I put it over here. So that looks great. It's clean. And this one, it's also clean. You can barely tell it's a different color, but it works over here. So that takes care of the washer. Moving up further at the neck, it is a rosewood fretboard, and the seller had an upgrade option where for 25 bucks more they'll do an ebony inlay. So I said, sure, go for it, and they did, and they forgot to charge me. So I messaged them and said, hey, you didn't charge me the 25, and they said, don't worry about it, consider it a free gift from us. So that was pretty cool that they did that. Moving up even further at the headstock of this, again, this is a Chibson, this is not a Gibson. They have some blatant copyright infringement, and it is what it is. I'm probably going to just cover it up. I will never sell this guitar, and I don't condone counterfeit sales, or I'm not going to be buying in bulk and selling these on the street. This will be my own, for my own personal use, and I will be making some sort of headstock change to customize it. May even go with the slash logo. The tuning forks, they have the sort of mint green color you'd expect to see on a Gibson. The pegs themselves, they look a little on the flimsy side. The Gibson pegs, and also the Epiphone pegs, they do have a nut here that you tighten in. So this one does not have that. I was thinking of changing them out for some Grover locking tuners, but so far these work very well. They hold the tuning, so I'm comfortable leaving them in. Something else to point out, the truss rod cover does have the 2-screw configuration. I hear that a lot of the knockoffs use 3 screws where they do one and then one to the side, another to the side. And so like the Gibson truss rod cover, they use 2. You can see over here the Epiphone would use 3. Another thing to point out is the nut. It is not fancy at all. It is just a basic plastic nut. It does the job. I may swap it out for a bone nut, but it works. So nothing fancy at all there. It's basically a piece of plastic with some slots in it. What else can I point out? I'm going to point out the body of this. It is a mahogany body. I did look behind the pickups. I actually drilled in to have a peek, and yes, it is mahogany all the way through. It's not one-piece mahogany. It has to use a veneer up front because it looks nice and clean. But the giveaway, if you get one of these, is to look elsewhere on the guitar. So, if I look at the bottom, I will see... There, you see right there? There's a line, middle of the screen. That's a joint where one piece of mahogany meets another piece of mahogany. So it's definitely not a one piece. Then you go over here, and there's the other one. So this is a 3-piece mahogany body, which is fine. I don't have any problems with that, but just don't expect that you're going to get a single-piece mahogany body, because you probably won't. Also, while I'm down here, I'll point out the jack cover. It doesn't look like a Gibson one. Gibson uses a white one that's plastic. This one is a metal one. No complaints. It's sturdy. I've opened it up, looked at the internals. Everything looks fine. So, nothing to really write home about there. Everything is good. As for the neck, a lot of Chibsons have 2-piece necks, where you'll get a scarf joint. This is most definitely a neck without a scarf joint. Also, the angle of the neck, I'll just point that out. I think the Gibsons use a more aggressive angle. But there is a joint at the very base of the neck. You can see on mine right there where the change is. And also I've noticed up close that there's a little bit of discoloration in here. You could see. I don't know if they maybe used wood filler for a chip. And also around you can see the discoloration. Again, not that I care. This is getting into fine detail, but you would never expect to see something like that on a real Gibson. I don't mind at all, but something to point out. I also noticed on the fretboard itself, again being ultra picky, in the upper frets there's a bit of discoloration. If you can see, it starts about there and goes down to here where it's a little bit of a lighter color on the fretboard. But that's it. I am very, very pleased with this guitar. I would give it Again, for the price, I would give it a 9 out of 10. And I like it so much, actually, I think I'm going to sell my Epiphone, which is pretty much bone stock. I quite like the playability of this Chibson. So I hope this has been helpful. Tambrolo, signing out.